But now, to the Great Barrier Reef, and an important story that some in the media have ignored. As viewers of Channel 9's 60 Minutes discovered last night in a powerful and moving report, the reef is being hit by a dramatic new wave of coral bleaching.
Charlie has brought me here to Pixie Reef, an ironic name for a place that's in such a sorry state. All around us is bleached and dying coral, right in the heart of the Great Barrier Reef.
The latest dire threat to the reef has been widely reported in the media since February, when a rash of headlines echoed a grim official warning from the Great Barrier Reef Marine Park Authority.
Great Barrier Reef Authority warns of widespread bleaching again this year.
2 weeks later, the threat level was raised further after official surveys revealed much greater damage than feared. And once again came a flurry of headlines, with the British tabloids, American broadsheets, and Canadian TV now getting in on the act, along with many others. Then, just days ago, the respected science magazine Nature ran the story on its cover, publishing the results of a worldwide study led by scientists from Queensland's James Cook University, which warned that damage to the Barrier Reef caused by climate change could be fatal. And for the third time in a month, the media swung into action.
Our natural wonder in peril. This sobering view confirming what scientists feared: hundreds of square kilometres of coral dead or dying.
For the second consecutive year, we have a mass coral bleaching event.
An event previously unheard of until 20 years ago.
And once again, it made waves around the world. In the New York Times, the Chicago Tribune, the BBC, and more, with the message that the reef could only be saved if climate change is halted. But one place you couldn't read any of this was the Australian newspaper, which has had no mention at all in its print edition. And how amazing is that? Here is arguably the most important environmental story in Australia, and a tourism asset that's worth billions of dollars a year. Yet the Oz does not consider it worth reporting, except in a couple of clips online. Even more remarkable, the Australian's environment editor, Graham Lloyd, who describes himself as
a fearless reporter of all sides of the environment debate,
has also had absolutely nothing to say. Extraordinary, isn't it? In fact, Lloyd's been silent on coral bleaching since mid-last year, when he reported that scientists had exaggerated the problem, that it wasn't too bad, and that the scientific world was divided. MediaWatch ripped into that article at the time because Lloyd relied heavily to make his case on a bird migration specialist from California called Jim Steele, who was not an expert on coral reefs, or on oceans, or on global warming. Lloyd hit back in The Australian, accusing us of bleaching the facts and
scientific bullying to squash discussion of genuine concerns about the Great Barrier Reef.
He also said he was not ignoring coral bleaching, but that he preferred to rely on
the more sober analysis of the Great Barrier Reef Marine Park Authority,
which, of course, is the authority behind all this year's warnings. So now Graham Lloyd is ignoring them too, as well as an army of experts like Professor Charlie Veron, the so-called godfather of coral, now sounding the alarm.
A lot of people say, oh, it's just a normal, natural thing. There's nothing normal, natural about this. 20 years ago, this would have been a fabulous place. It was a fabulous place. It was just teeming with life. And now it's teeming with death.
So why are Graham Lloyd and The Australian so busy looking the other way on such a tragic and important story? The Australian declined to explain, but our guess is it just doesn't fit their narrative.